and she is one of them. So here is Tamika. Hey.
Hello, hello, hello. We actually met on my organization's page. I have an organization called Women
Mm-hmm.
Leaving the Club and Returning Home. And I
Yep.
also have a book entitled the same one. It's a 31 daily devotional entitled the same way, entitled the same thing. And the purpose of that group is to get women on a like-mindedness in Christ.
Mm-hmm.
So it's to get
Mm-hmm.
um, women who have been distracted by so many things in the world to
Right.
get us back focused on God. And I think about women, ladies in waiting. That's why I wanted to be a part of this project, because I know when I was a lady in waiting, it took for me to put my focus on God and not my focus so much on being married. Even though I desired to be married, that became my ultimate focus. And focusing so much on being married, you kind of step out the will of God. And so my chapter is entitled Sleeping Alone. And when you think about sleeping alone, the first thing that comes to mind is an intimate relationship with a man, but my sleeping alone is twofold. For me, it means, yeah, sleeping in my bed alone, meaning waiting for God to send someone to be intimate with, and then being able to sleep by yourself and to spend time with yourself. And what I found out is I'm a minister. Let me introduce Tamika Johnson. I'm a minister. My co-pastor, New Outlook Ministry, in Milwaukee, located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm also an English teacher at Nova High School, located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I recently launched my life coaching business, Grow Up Empowerment Life Coaching, located in Germantown, Wisconsin. The same week that we launched, or we had our pre-sale for the protector, the provider, my husband, my king, I'll wait. I also launched my book, Grow Up on Purpose, because I'm a firm believer in one, knowing their purpose. And knowing your purpose, you have to focus on God. And so to go back to the book, my part in the book, with sleeping alone, I had to first be able to identify what was my purpose, what is my calling, what is God calling me to do. In order for me to be a wife for somebody, I first have to know who I am. And so Women Leaving the Club, Grow Up on Purpose, all of my life coaching business, all of it ties into knowing yourself, becoming one with your own thoughts, eradicating negative thinking, eradicating thinking that moves you or shift you away from your purpose and shift you away from the things that God has caused you to do. So when you read my chapter, Sleeping Alone, not only do I go over learning to spend time alone, learning to date myself, being okay with sleeping in my bed alone, because we have to learn to sleep alone. We have to learn to be by ourselves and allow God to, allow our Boazes to find us. And one thing that I found, that even after I got married, I find myself waiting. And see, some people think that, that's why we have a lot of divorces in the church. We have a lot of divorces throughout the United States, throughout the world, because we have in our mind this picture idea of what our lives are going to be like once we get married. But boy, when you get married, that's when the real work comes in. That's when you have to surrender everything to God, everything you thought marriage was, everything you thought you wanted your spouse to be. When you come to find out that the marriage is all about a selfless act, two people coming together, learning how not to be selfless, and also allowing God to do the pruning. One thing, my husband and I are in the trial right now, but we have to allow God to do the pruning, allowing God to direct our path. So God has showed me what my marriage will be. And so in the midst of God showing that, He's correcting us, He's pruning us, He's cleansing us, He's transforming us. So my chapter is really about focusing on yourself while you wait. Focusing on yourself while you wait. And that doesn't mean that once you get married that there won't be more work to do, but you will have a sense of security, a sense of who you are. And it will make the struggles, or it will help you to persevere in your marriage. It would allow you to long suffer in your marriage, because you'll ultimately know that your marriage is your ministry. And we know that in ministry, you have ups, you have downs. Sometimes you have to separate for a while and always take it back to God. So that's what my chapter is all about. My whole life, growing up on purpose, grow up empowerment, my life coaching business, it's all about getting one to focus on what it is that God has us predestined for us, and eradicating those negative thinking. Not even just negative, those that eradicating our thinking that we had, marriage is supposed to be blissful, and and yes, it is supposed to be that, but it's work to do. And so long suffering. So my chapter is about sleeping alone, getting to know yourself, getting to know your spouse, and most of all, getting to know God. And so I really thank Makita for this opportunity to partner with like-minded women, because like me, we wear a lot of hats. And so I'm a firm believer in dying empty. Everything that God placed in us to birth, we are to birth it on purpose. So
on purpose.
So read the chapter. It'll be interesting.
I honestly believe that every single chapter gives you something. Whether you're divorced, single, married, I believe every chapter gives you something. And no, I'm not saying it because I am the motivator of the book. It's real. Because you all have given me like, okay, I can stick this out just a little bit longer. I can stick this singleness out just a little bit longer and not give up. So I really believe that there is something for each and every single or wife in waiting. Even if you are married, divorced, like I said, it's something for all of us in this book.
And from a man's perspective, my husband actually read the book before me, and from his perspective, he was like, wow. He said, wait a minute. And it was so crazy that he was like, we really don't think about what we put women through. And he was like, I read so many of women's chapters, and I was like, all the struggles they endured, but we played a part in that. And I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
So even men can grab the book, and y'all can get into the minds of these beautiful, faith-filled women who wait for the right man to, gently lead and guide them. You know what I'm saying? We some tough women, but we want to be led. But you just can't lead us any kind of way.
No.
You have to be purpose-driven. So I'll
bring her back in a few minutes. Let me get to this last, but not